Hello everybody, welcome to It Was Tuesday with your host, James Chen, aka J Chenzor. I know that I am not your go-to source for Tekken, but you probably saw I posted up a 3-hour video of me playing King in the Tekken closed network test this past weekend. Just kind of wanted to give my brief thoughts on that, and coming from a casual Tekken player, obviously I am not a hardcore Tekken player. I've never gotten particularly good at Tekken. But obviously I did try to get into Tekken 7 a lot last time, and so I definitely have some opinions about this Tekken 8 beta that I played over this past weekend. I mean, first of all, shout out to Bandai Namco. There was a lot of characters in this beta. They like put everybody in this beta. I was surprised. Like, they let you play everybody. They let you play everybody, which was really neat, actually, and really kind of cool to see. So let's just go over the topics one by one here. Obviously, netcode, right? How was the netcode? I have heard lots of both sides of this, but it doesn't feel like it's true full rollback netcode. Everyone has been saying it's like an improved Tekken 7 netcode. Now, remember, we have all sorts of varying degrees of netcode. Rollback netcode can also be very bad. And Street Fighter V's rollback netcode was terrible. Keep in mind that when I played Street Fighter V, most of my matches are good. Keep in mind, I also have Fios at my home. My experience with the netcode in Tekken 8 was great. It felt wonderful. However, here are some caveats. One, I have very rarely played Tekken offline. So I don't really have an offline versus online lag kind of comparison to make. I have very rarely played Tekken offline, so take that with a grain of salt. And two, the matches that were bad, oh boy, like it's not even like, so rollback netcode, this is how you can tell Tekken was not rollback netcode, was that when you have bad rollback netcode, characters jump, right? Because it's literally, shoot, that wasn't the input they input. This is the input they input. Go back to the last save state, replay the inputs, and snap the game into the actual state. So you'll see people doing this, and so the game didn't receive the dash input before, so the character stays over here, but then it receives the dash input. It's like, oh, actually he dashed, we lost the other packet, and so all of a sudden it'll snap with the character in further forward, because in reality the guy dashed. When I had the bad matches in Tekken 8, it was literally... And for those people listening at home, I'm using my fingers to mime two people going, move freeze, move freeze, move freeze, move freeze. Like, it was not good. It was not good. And I see some people in the chat saying that the netcode was ass. It's a concern. It's absolutely concern. Oh, yeah, that's true. Something else to note about rollback, only the person with the better connection feels it. Yeah, it actually hurts the person with the better connection more often, for sure. Yeah, when the connection is so bad, there's nothing even rollback can do. Rollback isn't a magic bullet. It's not going to solve distance. It just can't, right? Information cannot teleport instantaneously, or when it's a CPU issue, right? So... God, Katy Perry, don't ask that question, okay? Look, don't traumatize me right now, okay? Let me just say that much. But for the most part, the netcode felt fine to me. But like I said, I take that with a grain of salt. The other thing that I think a lot of people have been talking about is obviously the heat mechanic. And so again, the heat mechanic is obviously very strong. I didn't personally use it much, but I could sense it. I can sense it when good players were using it on me. I have seen videos of other people going crazy with heat. And a lot of people are frustrated because it is a situation where you start with heat, right? So literally you can do round 1, heat activate, heat burst, boom, I'm doing chip damage, you're scared, you got hit, I did all this, and then you died. And that's it. So I know a lot of people, and then the next round you get it back. You have heat again, fully stocked and ready to do that again. So for the most part, I was just kind of using it as combo extenders, etc., etc. Oh, the pools are out for Evo, nice. I see Holy Sock is saying like he doesn't want Tekken to be a meter building game, so he likes it that you have heat at the start. Gundam Jehudi Kai says, I don't think the heat mechanic and the more aggressive nature of Tekken 8 will have much effect on casual and low-level play, but I can totally see it affecting high-level play a lot. Exactly. My experience with heat wasn't horrible until I fought someone who clearly knew what they were doing. And then the heat was just completely destroying me, right? Now, they wouldn't need heat to destroy me anyway, right? But clearly, it seems like that there can be issues. Now, Harada has been on social media saying stuff like, yeah, okay, we've seen the super high damage. We will tweak the damage. Don't worry. We'll make sure, we'll maybe try to look at these super long combos and try to shorten the combos, etc., etc. But it seems like from the high-level players, right now, generally, people don't seem to like heat very much. Please correct me if I'm wrong, that maybe there are some high-level players who really do like heat. But yeah, it is good data that they're getting, and you know, this way that they can actually see like, oh god, yeah, most of the matches at high levels are spent like being 90% in heat, you know, kind of thing. Because Tekken has always been about a very nuanced offense, right? But heat, putting yourself in like kind of free offensive mix-ups. Plus, I thought it was really odd that you don't have the decision to use heat or not, right? So like for King, I used to use forward 2-1 a lot as just a neutral tool, as a whiff punishing tool, as a punish tool. But that actually goes into, that's a heat engager. So every time I land it, I go into heat. I didn't have the choice to not go into heat. And I really thought that was kind of weird. But, as a lot of people are saying in the chat, heat is a new mechanic. Pro players need to calm down. It's only one closed beta test. And like Holy Sock says, that's what Anime Jane says. Holy Sock says, didn't people hate supers when Super Turbo first came out? Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, you know, I said that about Street Fighter 6, right? Drive Rush, Drive Impact. A lot of people hate Drive Rush right now. You know, everybody hated button into V-trigger in Street Fighter 5 early on. So, like, and now Street Fighter 5 is the paragon of footsies for some of these players, right? So, like, it's one of those things. You'll get used to it eventually and learn to play within it. However, it is different this time because Tekken has very rarely, and can almost safely say never, had a shakeup like this. Like whether you add tornado moves or spin moves or bounds or tag, you know, tag was probably the most crazy mechanic added to a Tekken game. But also that was way back when Tekken 1, 2, and Tekken Tag, and then Tag became a like actual, well, Tekken 3 and then Tekken Tag. And so Tekken Tag kind of became an institution. Tekken 4 had walls and stuff like that, but you know what? Nobody liked it. And guess what? Tekken doesn't have walls and columns and stuff that you can hide around anymore. So the Tekken community has been very, very, I don't want to call them stubborn because that's a negative connotation, but they're very loyal to what the game is about, right? Because again, Bound was just like another version of the spiral attacks, you know. Currently, the tornado attacks is the exact same thing as the spiral attacks, etc., etc. So that's the thing, is that even though, you know, we get used to new mechanics, the Tekken community is in a unique position. Strive went through the exact same thing. A lot of the classic Guilty Gear players don't play Guilty Gear Strive because Strive is so different, and they don't like it and they hate it. Strive is run a lot by a lot of newer players, people new to Strive. You know, Strive is another massive legacy game, right? not being able to use like instant fast fall, false Roman cancel, Kara jump kicks with Faust and stuff like that, you know, like feels foreign to some of these people. So Strive went through a lot of it at the exact same time. So having said all that, for me, it still felt like Tekken. Like, here's the thing, like, everybody knows how salty I got playing Tekken. I mean, I have my ultimate rage clip with Tekken on the YouTubes out there. But, you know, that obviously was when I was extremely bad at Tekken. I got a lot better eventually. I'm obviously still nowhere pro level. But I know what I'm doing, right? I know what I'm doing. I can fight. I can play. And I got to admit, man, when I played that Tekken beta, I missed that, dude. I was playing it. I was like, God, I remember playing Tekken. And, like, I was kind of having fun. I was still being salty, but I was kind of having fun. And I kind of missed it. I was like, man, I kind of miss Tekken right now. Tekken's a fun game. So the hardest part about it is that it requires so much knowledge. Someone said that Tekken has always been knowledge check the game, right? And so, like, I fought a really good Xiao Yu who could tell I didn't know how to stop anything, so she just was just toying with me. I fought a really good Jack who knew obviously that I had no idea what I was doing, and so he kept using all the gimmicky moves and destroying me, basically. So, you know, that's the hardest thing about Tekken. Like, I wish I could get better at Tekken, but I know if I wanted to get good at Tekken, I have to dedicate a lot of time to the game. And I've already kind of determined that Tekken 8 and Mortal Kombat 1 just aren't going to be able to get the time that I want to give those games. I just don't think I'm going to be able to give those games the time. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. And honestly, it felt a lot like Tekken 7. In fact, outside of the heat mechanic, Tekken players can tell me this in the chat. This felt like one of the least massive changes for me so far between games. Because if you take out the heat system, I felt like the game was really, really similar to Tekken 7. Like the way that I was playing, the moves that I was using, the strategy I was kind of using, a lot of it was really, really similar. Has it always been that way with Tekken? When you went from Tekken 6 to Tekken 7 or Tekken 5 to Tekken 6? Did it just kind of feel like you were just jumping over there, etc., etc.? Oh, throws being unbreakable on counter hit. Ooh, I did not realize that. So if you throw somebody out of their recovery, they can't tech it anymore? That's actually kind of big. Well, their goal was aggression, Anime Jane, so for sure Tekken 8 was more aggressive. They definitely added a lot more power crushes and things like that. So like before everyone had one power crush, now everyone has like 3 power crushes, you know? So for sure the game is a little more aggressive, but it felt like it felt like Reload the Slash of Tekken 7 to Tekken 8 if you took away the heat system. The tag games, I don't know if I'll count that Lurker Spine, because obviously Tekken Tag is a whole nother monster, right? Because it has to be balanced in a different way. But I mean, Tekken 4 was obviously massively different too, but then Tekken 5 was kind of like that retcon reboot movie that erased the existence of some sequels, etc., etc. I play King as well, so if that's the case, I'm kind of happy. But in any case, oh yeah, the game changed drastically. Tekken 3 to Tekken 4 gained more environmental stuff. The 3D movement was a little stronger in that, and they lowered the damage in Tekken 4 a lot. Like launches didn't, like it took a lot of combos to kill somebody. And I still remember the Evo Top 8, people did not enjoy that at all. Because Jin was also, I think it was Jin, or was it Kazuya? I can never remember. One of them was super overpowered, so every match was just those two running circles around a column. And whoever had to leave, just kept hiding behind a column, and yeah, people were definitely not enjoying that. Jin was the OP character in Tekken 4. There you go. So then they went back to 5, and so 5, they just kind of reset things back to the original way that Tekken was. So again, Tekken hasn't been as open to change as a lot of other games. So I'm curious to see, but like I said, outside of the heat, I felt like Tekken 8 was really similar to Tekken 7. At least I was doing a lot of the same things, right? But obviously, I'm not an expert at Tekken, so that's like me saying I went from one Smash to the other and was mostly using the same moves with my character. Like I'm using Ness and I'm just trying to PK Fire, PK Thunder people all day. But obviously, like you talk to a Smash player and they're like, oh my god, Melee is nothing like the Wii version, is nothing like, you know, Smash 4, and it's so different, like they're barely even recognizable compared to Smash Brothers Ultimate, blah, 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 you know, stuff like that. So, obviously, as a pro Street Fighter player, I can see the very subtle differences in how they affect the game a lot. I won't be able to do that for Tekken, but I will say though, I you know, from the trailers, I was worried that the gratuitous graphical enhancements were going to be too much, but most of them were trailer only. Most of them were trailer only, and so when I played it, it was not bad at all. And then, like I said, I was worried that the game was going to not feel like Tekken anymore, but it still absolutely felt like Tekken to me. So I think a lot of that kind of worry is kind of staved off. And I heard the same thing from a lot of people who played at like Evo Japan and stuff like that. Like Tekken still felt very Tekken, that it wasn't as altered as they were scared of. Obviously the heat mechanic withstanding. So yeah, everyone agrees that Tekken 8 underneath all the heat craziness is still Tekken at core. Yeah. Even a casual Tekken player like me can feel the familiarity of Tekken 7 in the Tekken 8 CNT. Yeah, that's how I felt. Tekken 6, Tekken 7, and Tekken 8, according to Necromancy Black, have a huge core gameplay that feels similar. Yeah, it feels like that's kind of when it got largely, I don't want to call it normalized, but like this is how we want Tekken to play, kind of stuff. So. Oh, the low parry, oh my god, is so much better. The dramatic change and the fact that you actually see them like block, like, is really cool. Like, shout outs to them doing that. That was actually really, really cool. The first time someone low parried me, and I was like, what? And then I low parried someone else. I was like, yo, that's just the low parry. Like, that was actually kind of cool. So, but you know, I enjoyed it. Like I said, it really felt like I missed it. I really had this feeling like, man, I missed playing Tekken. Like doing the king things, and the times when I was right, when I played well, the times that I read things or actually pulled off the Shining Wizards, or, you know, got them with the throw mix-ups and did like the cool, you know, king combos and stuff like that. Whenever I landed that stuff, I was just like, God, this feels good. Like, I miss this. And so when Tekken 8 comes out, I mean, I'll definitely play it again. I don't know how much time I can dedicate to it, but game is fun still. So I really enjoyed it. I had a great time. And, you know, if the heat mechanic does simplify the gameplay a little bit, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because Tekken is still one of the harder games to get into. But at the same time, is it doing anything wrong? It's the third biggest at EVO with 1,500 entrants in its 8th year. Clearly, it's not having any problem bringing in new players. New players are coming into Tekken just fine. So maybe that whole idea of needing... What are you doing, Jasmine? Stop. Jasmine, stop. That whole need to simplify Tekken maybe is not a real concern. Maybe it's not a real issue. Jasmine, stop. So maybe we don't have to worry about it. Maybe Tekken gets to remain the hard game for the fighting game players that want that challenge, right? Because that's what a lot of Tekken players will tell you, is that they want that. Stop it, Jasmine. Jasmine, stop. So we'll see. We'll see. Again, I really enjoyed it. Had a lot of fun. And I'm really happy for the Tekken fans out there. I'm really happy they're getting a new Tekken. Oh yeah, also, it's beautiful. It's really, really freaking beautiful. However, I will have to say that it looks so good that it actually jumped back into the Uncanny Valley region again. Like they have so many muscles on the faces to move now, but now it's because the faces look more real, they look more dead. I don't know how to explain it, but like there's something weird about it. There's something weird about it that I noticed the first time in the Asuka trailer, but we'll see what happens. Obviously, it's still a long way to go. So, and yeah, EVO 2024 with Tekken 8, Street Fighter 6, MK1. Ooh, that's going to be good times, man. And Strive. Let's not forget Strive and KOF 15, right? Because those have been the best versions of those games in a long time as well. Okay. Guilty Gear heads are going to kill me. The Exert fans are going to kill me for saying that. But Strive has certainly been the highest selling Guilty Gear game. And KOF 15, all the KOF fans really enjoy 15 a lot. So yeah. But I think it's trying to maintain a stylized aesthetic with Unreal Engine 5 photorealism rather than going all in on photorealism like Mortal Kombat. That's weird because I'm not even... Mortal Kombat also, like when the faces talk, it looks super real, but also kind of dead. Like, it's Uncanny Valley. I mean, MK1, they said September, right? They said September. And Tekken 1 has all but hinted that it's coming out in this year as well. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So, in any case, I can always talk about fighting games forever. And if you want to hear me talk about fighting games forever, I've got plenty of videos on this channel, youtube.com/UltraChenTV. Lots of topics that I love to talk about, lots of tutorials. Please check out my frame meter tutorials, check out my First Attack series. I apologize that I haven't done a new First Attack in a while, but I have been extremely busy on the weekends, when I usually record them, and it has gotten me exhausted. So I don't know if there will be another First Attack until after EVO. We'll see what happens. But again, I'm trying to make lots of content on this channel. So thank you again to everybody who has subscribed recently. Thank you to everybody who's been watching all my videos. I appreciate you guys so much. And I hope I hope you continue to enjoy the content that I create here. Long form content and some short form content, but very unique content in a way. So, but thank you guys for watching. And the day that this podcast graced your ears was the greatest day of your life. But for me,
it was Tuesday.